Today, we're going to create an automated newsletter to nurture leads using this system. It's only going to take a few minutes and a few clicks of a button to start creating this. Okay, let's get started. So the first thing we need is let's understand the newsletter format, because we're going to have two different columns, two different systems. One's going to create the content of the newsletter and one's going to send it. So the first thing we're going to create is the content. So the way the newsletter is going to work is we're going to have the high name to make it personalized. We're going to have a hook for the person, a value nugget that would be the core message of the newsletter, a step-by-step how to do it, and then a CTA, a call to action. And that's how the format's going to be of the newsletter. And the way we're going to make this automated is we're going to still have the core message done by the content creator. That way it's still personalized, it's still valuable, and still resonates with the audience of the content creator. And we're going to use that core message to create the whole newsletter. And the way it works is this is like the CRM that we're going to use for the newsletter. And this part is the whole process of each part of the newsletter. So the value nugget, the core message, the subject line, the hook of the message, the step-by-step, the CTA, and then the check mark if the newsletter is done. The newsletter is sent. The value nugget would be anything. That would be similar to a core message of a YouTube video. And that would be, for this example, I was using a content creator that's in the fitness space. So it would be, you'll grow faster if you improve training density, not just adding weight. Most people plateau because their form is unstable, not because they're weak. You lose fat faster by stopping cardio for a week. That's the core message of the newsletter. And writing it down by the content creator would make it more personable, obviously. So this would be each newsletter. This would be 3 newsletters. So now what we're going to do is let's build the system using that. So the first thing we need to start is a trigger. What's going to start that workflow? So because we're going to run this every week or every day or every month, we'll start with a schedule trigger. That would be at a certain time, it'll trigger the workflow. That could be every day, every week, every month. Next thing we're going to do is we need that core message. So let's go to the Google Sheets node, and we'll take that node. That will be the get rows and sheet. What this will do is it'll extract the information that you just saw in the Google Sheet. And we'll pick the CRM, and then it has the newsletter info. And we also filter the reason why we're filtering is because we want to get the information that hasn't been sent, for example. Like we want to get the information, the core message on a new topic, because we don't want to send the same topic over and over. So here, when we filter by sent, we'll just get the first one. It'll be value nugget. Oh no, the filter would be sent, and here would be false. Yeah, and we get all 3 of them, or like all of them, because they all are false right at this moment. But we only want one core message, because we can't have multiple core messages for one newsletter. Yeah, so we're going to do a core message. How are we going to do the core message? Pretty simple. We're just going to say return the first matching value. So it's going to find the first non-checkboxed sent. It's going to return that. Let's return this one. So if we click this one to send, meaning this newsletter has already been sent to the audience, and we run it again, you'll see that it'll go to row number 3. Yeah, row number 3 right here. Let's unsend that and do it again, and let's move on to the next node. Okay, now that we got that one done, now this is the most important node. So now that we have the core value, what are we going to do? What we're going to do is we're going to use an API and a platform called Tavily. What Tavily does is it searches the web for a keyword or a message that you write and finds the most trending topics for it. So we're going to use that to find the most trending topics for the core message that we want to deliver. For this one, the core message is you'll grow faster if you improve training density, not just adding weight. What Tavily is going to do is it's going to find the most trending topics, 3 most trending topics, and then give them to us. That way you can use that to create the newsletter. The first thing you need to do is find Tably because it's an inbuilt system right here. If you haven't installed it, you have to click install. Then we'll use the search one because we're trying to find information. And then if you haven't got it connected, you would have to get connected using the credentials. Just go to Tably, go to API key, and put this information in. Once you do that, the next thing you would have to put a search already there, and we're going to use a query. That way we have that information. And then this is an example. Who is Lionel Messi? And he'll search that query. But we want it to be a dynamic value, right? So we don't want to put in just the thing. The way we use a dynamic value is we'll put the nugget value here, the value nugget here. And what that do is it'll create that. Every time you have a new one, it'll just update it here. So now you'll grow faster if you improve your training density. When it comes to this one, it'll auto update there and become most people. That's a dynamic value right there. And then we're just gonna do search. Spelling's wrong. Search the web for that. My spellings are really bad. Okay, that's it. And then there's some more filters we can do. For topic, we'll do general. Then let's see, what's the other ones? Max results, we'll do 3. We want 3 max results. And then days would be 7. So week, what are the most trending topics from now to a week ago? Anything else? No, I don't think so. So now, put that here. And the next thing we gotta do is we'll run this right now. Let me save it. Always remember to auto save. Always remember to save, that way it's there. Let's run this and see what happens. And then, okay, we got 3 results right here. And they give us the link, they give us the title. One of them is how to build muscle faster without lifting weights, exactly what we asked for. It'll give the content. It also gives us a score. That way it tells us how similar it is. And if you didn't like it, you could just change this right here and search it again. That way you get as valuable, because the goal is to create a query that is valuable, because you don't want to go back and keep editing to create a specific one. We're making a system here. That way, after you create this system once, every week you'll have a newsletter. Okay, so we have this right now. The next step, what we're going to do is we have to create the newsletter using these, right? So we're going to use an AI agent and connect it to a chat model. Here I'll use OpenRouter. I normally use Claude because for me, I feel like those are the best writing models. Claude Sonnet 4. You could also use the 4.1 mini. Where is Claude Sonnet 4? Right here. Yeah. So now what we need to do is we need to come up with a prompt that uses these 3 to come up with a hook for this email. The first thing we're gonna do is let's do define below, and then we'll write this prompt, and then we'll also write a system message. That way we have the perfect one. The difference is the system message stays the same for each time we run it, and that is, who do you want the AI to act like? What do you want the AI to do? And the prompt keeps changing. That's the content. The system message is, how do you want the AI to act? So the most important thing for us is getting the system message correct. So let's do that. The first thing I'm going to do is change the expression so we can full size it. Okay, right now, the way I think about it is we want to give an overview, then we want to give context, then we want to give instructions. That way everything is perfect. Okay, so I came up with, give me 1 second. I came up with a prompt for this, and we can go over it instead of me typing it. Give me 1 second to find it. Where did it go? Okay, let me find it. I think I have it on a doc, so. Where is it? All right, here. Yeah. So this is the prompt. Let me copy paste it, and then we could go over it. Okay. Oh, yeah, I need to change these. That's fine. The way I'll do that is, let me edit this out and edit this out. And let me, so these values are from the value nugget right here. So I'll post that right here. Get that back right here. Okay. So the way I'm writing the hook is, you are an AI agent responsible for transferring key insights from 3 given articles into an engaging hook of an email newsletter. Then I give a context that the agent receives 3 articles as an input. The goal is to merge their most relevant points into 2 cohesive sentences for the hook. The tone should be professional and inspiring, suitable for a newsletter. And then it should match the nugget and complement it, meaning that, let me fix this. Yeah, that way it's not a random hook. And then the instructions. The way I use instructions is I run this, and then whatever doesn't work, I keep adding it. So I do read and analyze 3 input articles. Then I did do extract, like the information, make it actionable for each article. And then the next thing I use is do not copy, because I think for a lot of them what happened was they kept copying the title, meaning the core message, and I didn't want that. And then I changed it also to 3 grade level because it was really complex. Then synthesize these into a unified narrative, highlighting their shared themes and key messages. Write a hook. You could just copy paste it. I'll put it in the description. That way it's much easier. But the way I write it, because it's more important to figure out how to write it, is you write only 1 line and then you run it and see what's the issue. Then you write another sentence, fix it. Because if you write a lot, it'll be really hard to figure out why the system is working a certain way. Just write nothing. Actually, your best thing is start with nothing, then add a line, then add another line to make it as perfect as possible. Okay? And then the prompt would be the 3 articles. That would be articles. Article 1. Let me put the content in. Okay, yeah, perfect. Let me full size it, that way we get it. Article 2. And same thing right here. And article 3. Same thing. Where did article 3 go? Oh yeah, here. Yeah, all 3 of them, same thing. What I'll do is I'll just keep them this way, that way they're all there. Yeah, perfect. And all 3 of them, we have all the content here. And the next thing we're gonna do is we're just gonna run it to see what output do we get. If there's any errors, we'll fix it. That way we can mitigate any issues. It'll take a time to load because it's gonna read every article, try to synthesize it, and then boil it down. Okay, yeah, it's still running. Give it a second. Okay, finally loaded. I paused the video, that way y'all don't have to keep seeing the loading time. And I also pinned it. What the pin does, it doesn't change the value. Meaning if I come out again, and if I run it, see how it executes really fast? It keeps the value the same, because if I rerun the model, I don't want it to keep changing it. Just because for this executed, for this video, I'll pin it. So the next thing now we need to do is, we got the hook of the video, right? Oh, let me show you the hook. So the hook is, smart lifters focus on doing more work in less time, not just lifting heavier weights for faster gains. Perfect, right? It used all this information and made it something similar to the value nugget, but not the same. Now the next point, Another good thing is always rename. That way you know what it is. Because I'll come back after a few days and try to look what it is, and I have to click in and start just, oh, create the hook. Let's create the hook. Okay. Next thing, this is just, that way we can store the value better. And this would just be a set field. I just do this every time because now we're going to use another AI agent to create the step-by-step on how to do this. Because I told you as the format last time, is that, okay, we create the hook and the next thing would be a step-by-step on how to achieve the value nugget. I just like to create, yeah. So I have the output, I'll put it here. And then I'll call it, I think, hook. Yep, perfect. This way I already have the value saved somewhere else. The next thing is another AI agent. And what this will do is this will create the step-by-step. Change the name first. Step-by-step. Let me put the create. Okay, so this creates the step-by-step, and it's similar. We're gonna do below. Same thing here. We need to do the system prompt first, and the way we're gonna do the system prompt is very similar to last time. We put as much information as possible. Actually, it's the opposite. We're going to put the least information as possible and then build on top of it. I already created a prompt that works for this one, so I'll just put it here. And let me know if y'all want me to share both of these prompts. Because they'll be really valuable to have. Give me a second. I think it's taking a long time to load. Okay, found the prompt. Here's the prompt that I created for this. And this is it. So this says your AI agent creating a step-by-step way to implement the key messages. Give 3 easy steps to accomplish the key message. I realized that value nugget is really hard for the AI to understand, so I changed it to key message. That way it knows, okay, that's a key message. The agent receives the key message. Oh, I don't know why I have a C here. The key message expressed in the email and the hook as the input, meaning that the value we found in this AI agent and this value nugget, we're going to use that to create the step-by-step. After that, we're going to keep the tone inspiring and suitable for email newsletter, for giving back value, instructions, read and analyze the key message of emails and the hook of the email, extract the actions need to achieve, synthesize into step-by-step, write in a clear, concise tone of voice, need an HTML, start with the div. The reason why I did this is that way we have the HTML format, because the way I created the format for the email was HTML because I have more flexibility in how to edit stuff, how to make the newsletter look, making it completely much easier. And if you're like, I don't know HTML, it's fine. Just you could literally put this all information into ChatGPT and ask it, oh, fix this, create this, do all of these things, and now we'll do them in HTML. Very simple to do with the use of AI now. Yeah, for sure. So now we're gonna do the prompt, right? It's pretty simple like the last time. We're gonna do a value nugget. Oh my bad, not value nugget, key message. Key message. The next thing is gonna be the hook. And I'm gonna take it from, oh, I didn't execute the last step. Here. And I need to add a chat model. We'll get an error. Oh wait, I could just use this chat model. Yep, and let me run this to see if you get a step-by-step. Yeah, it's, okay, perfect. Let's see if we can read this. Okay, let me see where it starts. Okay, so step 1 would be track your work to rest ratio, and then it gives a step by step how to do that. Step 2 would be implement supersets and circuits, and it tells you how to do that. And then step 3, focus on movement quality over load. So monitor load, check your form. Oh, okay, perfect. These 3 are perfect for it. So now we have the step by step, we have the hook. Now what's the next step? The next step would be just adding them into the CRM, because that way everything's in one place. Even if they'll not be formatted correctly, because the step by step is in HTML, the hook is in text, and the CTA is whatever we want it to be. We're not going to create one because it changes. So right now, the best CTA I've seen is you give value, you give the step by step, and then you give them more value by saying, oh, here's a free 15-minute call. This way you have 15 minutes to provide even more value and see if they would want to become a paid customer or paid client by that. Yeah, so the next thing we're going to do is just put everything into the CRM. Let me do that. We're going to use the Google Sheets. Update row. Same thing, CRM. Same thing, newsletter. And the way we're going to map it is we're going to use the value nugget, because that's going to be the same for each. For each newsletter, it's a unique value nugget. Okay, we mapped it, and then let's map everything else. The hook would be this field right here. The step by step would be the output, HTML. The CTA would be, and the sent and all of these, we don't need them. Then we execute step. Okay, I'll show you updated. Yeah, it is not formatted correctly, but that's fine. We're just using this to store everything. Now that's done. We've created the newsletter info one. So let's move this down, and now we can create the sending one, the way how to send the newsletter. So the first thing we're going to do for sending is we're also going to use a schedule trigger again, because we want to send it daily or weekly or monthly actually. That's a schedule trigger. And in the CRM, I also have this CRM. That's the info of every person in your email list. That's the first name, the last name, how you found them, the contact email, and the phone. And then these are other things that we need. So this would be clicked if they have received a newsletter. If they haven't, we'll send them a welcome email instead. But if they have, then they'll get this daily newsletter, or this weekly newsletter, or this monthly newsletter. The next thing would be the info, right? Let's go back to Sheets, and we want the info of all these people. Right, so we'll do get rows and sheets. Oh, yeah. So if you're not confident which one it is, you can just click this one. It'll take you there to the sheet. I'm gonna use CRM and change these. I forget myself to change the names, and then I'm wondering which one is which. If you pick clear names, it'll be really easy. That way you don't have to click into each node to figure out, okay, this is this is that. Perfect. Let's run this. Okay, there are 96 items. Then, wait, no, wrong one. Let me see. So we get info of leads, not newsletter. For leads, after that we're gonna do, let me put a limit in, because I want to show you only one output. That way it's much easier to see. Yeah, so in reality there'll be no limit here, because you'll just keep sending them, but for the sake of this YouTube video, I'll keep a limit. That way we can see only one output. Okay, the next thing is going to be a branch. That's going to be between what I told you before, if they have received a newsletter or they haven't. And this is the way I was thinking the newsletter would be formatted. If I'm not wrong, this would be the top, this would be the hook, the core message, the 3 ways to implement it, and then right here, the CTA. There's the format. You can easily make it better depending on how you want it to. So that way, okay. So now we're gonna have a filter from or a route, my bad. So the filter just sees if it makes sense to proceed. The switch, my bad, would be the one that routes two things. So the way we're gonna do this switch is if the leads is false or not, right? So we're gonna go to start email sequence, and we'll say is equal to false, and we'll rename it, and we'll call it new old lead. And then actually we could just call it weekly email. Like, do they get the weekly email or do they get the welcome email? Perfect names, much better. Then yeah, we'll do the same thing, but now it will be true. Rename, that will be welcome email. So that way we have two routes, and they're gonna have similar things. What they're gonna have is they're gonna have an email sent, and then we'll update the CRM saying, okay, the email was sent. Perfect. So the first thing, let's go to Gmail, and let's go to send a message, and let's change this to weekly newsletter. Now that we have that, I'll just put my email, much simpler that way. I should just put a random email actually. Info, perfect. Let's do info example at gmail.com. Just a random email. The subject, the way I was thinking of this subject would be, we use Tably for that, or we could create using the value nugget, just depends. So this is the subject line I got out of this one. It would be, if you're feeling behind lately, this might help. The way I think of subjects, I've seen the best content creators when they do newsletters, Cody Sanchez, Alex Hormozy, they keep the same subject line because they want to build the brand on the value inside, not on the hook subject line. So we could just create this and do this every time. Or they go, oh, that's this person's message. Then we use HTML format, and now we just need to copy over what we said. And I also created an HTML template for this right here. Let me copy paste that one. This is all in one doc that I created for. And the way I created this HTML contact was pretty simple. I did something similar, but what I did was I wanted to try it out, right? Using ChatGPT, that way y'all didn't have to figure it out. And I did it using ChatGPT, pretty simple, much similar. This is it. And what I'll do is if y'all comment that y'all want these, I'll put this template in for the email. I'll put the template in for both the system prompts for the AI. That way it's perfect. Yep, so this is the information. Always remember we have to do the append init and off. That way they don't know it's sent from init n. And then for this one, it'll be email again. It'll be send a message. Welcome email. This is another prompt that I created. This would be, for example, gmail.com. This would be, let me put the HTML first, and then I'll put the subject line. This is from the doc that I created, like the subject line I created. And for this one, it would be the same thing. If you're actually, no, this would be welcome. This would be like, because that one doesn't make sense actually. Welcome to Rohan's Corner. Let's try that. I don't know. You could just say something similar to that to make it more valuable. Okay. And then the last step would be, what would be the last step? Can you guess? It would just be update the CRM. That way we get all this information in. Meaning we'd say latest newsletter sent. Yeah, tick. That's what we're gonna tick. Because that way we know, okay, this person got the latest newsletter. I'm gonna go back to Sheets. Update row. Same thing. School. Go to the CRM. And then the way we're gonna find this one, pretty simple. Let me get lead info. We'll go on their email. We'll go contact email. Actually, we're gonna filter by contact email. And then the only thing we need to do is latest newsletter. We put that as true. That's it. Actually, I forgot. These workflows are different. That means this doesn't have the content of the newsletter. So let me add it right here. I forgot. That would be bad if I ran it and nothing would show up. Okay. Let's go here. And I would get rows and sheets. I would get CRM. Then I would get newsletter info. Filter. I'll do the same filter as the first one where I go sent is false. And then I'll do the first returning one. Yeah, perfect. This is all that information that I got. And what I do is at the end of this, I'll just tick it. That way you have to send ticked. Perfect. So now we have the lead info. Yeah, let me do newsletter info. Perfect. And now if you run this, I think it'll send if I'm not wrong. Yeah, perfect. Let's see the email that we sent. Perfect. Right here. And that would be, how do you leverage it to, wait, it didn't run through. 1 second. I don't think I've filled it up all the way. Let me see. Yeah, I added everything, it seemed like. 1 second. I'm trying to figure out why it didn't give all the values I wanted it to give. Yeah, it should have. Maybe I made it. This is like, that's a good way to always check. So we can see how I fixed my errors. Oh, it didn't run. That's completely my bad. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is pretty simple. Go to expressions, extend it, and now I can like change the stuff. Okay. I forgot I didn't add them before I ran it. So what I'll go to do is get lead info. We'll get first name right here. Hi, Sarah. And the good part is you can always come here and see what the information is going to look like. Let's see where it is. I always have a hard time finding, like, matching these two. Okay, that'll be around here then. Oh, right here, yeah. Sarah, and then the next thing would be, this would be the hook. The hook, and the next thing would be core value. Then this one would be the step-by-step. And the way I did this is, oh, how do you leverage time in the gym? And then it would give you, oh, hi Sarah. And then this would give you the hook. the smart lifters focus on doing more work in less time, not just lifting heavier. Then this one would be, today I want to share your concept that takes a long time to learn, and then you would grow faster, and then you say as a core message, and then you say how to implement it. You get the step-by-step, and then the CTA right here. Then we can run it again. Let me see if it is there. Let me read. Oh yeah, perfect. It showed up. Oh, I fixed that. Let me fix that. Perfect. Let me run this again. Rerun. Descent. Let's rerun it. Perfect. So this will be, hi Sarah, and then you have the hook. Smart lifters focus on doing more in less time. Today I want to show you the concept. It took me a long time to learn. You will grow faster if you improve training density, not just adding weight. You give the core message, core concept, commit to 3 impact targets, 1 big win, 1 maintenance task, 1 growth task, and then you give all 3 of them. And then you give your name, and then say need help implementing this because it's hard to build alone. You give the CTA, and this automatically goes into a link. Here's not found because I don't have a link for this newsletter right now, but that would automatically get there. And that's the system. There's another thing we could build, and that would be like you get a notification and you update the CRM. Like the other thing that would be cool to build, now that I think about it more, is build like a section right here. So instead of you clicking this, what would be anytime somebody books a call, right, using the Calendly link that you set up, it'll automatically update it saying, oh, this person booked a call. And how do you map it? By the email. If jason.lee@gmail.com booked that meeting, then jason.lee was the one who scheduled the call. So okay, so Jason Lee, we found you and we booked it and we added it. That way everyone knows what's going on. It's perfectly visible. And then you could also have another integrated system that would be like, oh, did they show up? If they didn't show up, then we send them another message, reschedule. If they did show up, okay, perfect. And let's go back to the no. If they didn't show up, we send them a message and then we'll update. Oh, okay, we already followed up. And that's the other systems you could build that can make this much better and much more visible. I didn't have time to create all of that, but I really hope this was valuable because I think once you build this, it'll be really easy to nurture leads and make them better. Thank you so much for watching. And if you